Hi.
Where's your
Hi.
camera? Where's your camera? No
Okay,
camera?
hold on. Where's my camera? Okay.
Don't mind me, I'm just eating in the corner.
Yeah, we're gonna do comfortable tonight. We're just doing comfortable
This
tonight.
is it. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm glad I put a hat on so y'all can just not see what's going on up under here.
You look beautiful. You're beautiful.
I'm not dressed, so I'm hiding.
So the conference was last week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got a chance to meet you and your family, and here you are hanging out with us. Yeah. Marvel is over there eating. Tina's off camera. I'm about to go pick up some of this food from right around the corner, like literally like around the corner from the computer. And tell us, you said you're still processing?
So like yes, I am. I just actually lay down on my floor because I'm like, you still haven't really like rested. I don't feel as I have yet. There's just so much. There's just so many things that have been coming up since childhood. I haven't really expressed to you guys as far as my own personal journey, and not even being aware that there were so many other people out in the world that I just can immediately vibe with and have like just a feeling of like, oh my gosh, this is home, this is family. And so I feel like I'm the baby out of the crew, because I'm just so happy just to, there's others. Yeah. So I'm really processing. I'm really still I've been crying a lot, but I'm a crier, which helps me process things as well. Like I cry about pretty much happy things, sad things, angry, what have you. But all of my tears last weekend was just straight gratitude, like the feeling of love, how I even got into the conference, like that in itself was just powerful, and connecting to everybody and not knowing anything other than Laura Eisenhower, who connected me to the panel pretty much a year and a half ago. So
awesome.
Yeah, so it's big, it's huge.
Gladys,
it's huge.
Why don't you give some background for the people who aren't aware of your story and how you ended up at the conference, how you ended up at ticket. Just tell everybody that amazing story, because I love it. I could listen to it over and over again because it is magical.
Okay, so I mean, I don't even know where to start. Like, just the fact is probably 2 years ago, really, like briefly, 2 years ago, I woke up super, super depressed and told my parents that like, yo, I've been feeling really, really heavy. I've always have known that I am, I'm sensitive to energy. I just found out the words of empath and everything else. I'm 44. So since 30 years old, I've been having all of these things that I used to have as a child, but came up really fast and all in my 30s. So I'm now 44 and really starting to find people that actually know about what I've been experiencing and not knowing anything. So in that, a year and a half ago, Laura Eisenhower crossed on my page, and within 3 minutes, she said, Danny and Elena, and I was like, oh, let me look up these women. And from there, like, they have been my medicine. So in August, when I found out about the conference, I'm like, holy, what? So my, earthly bank account cannot cash my galactic bank account check. So I'm like, how do I get there? And like the whole entire time listening to Danny and just really talking about, the hustle's real, like, and everybody, however you can get there, like get there. If you can't, that's okay. But my mindset was always like, I'm getting there, and I need to be amongst my people. I need to be amongst my family. I don't care how it is. Like, if I just get a hotel room to get there and just stand amongst the hotel of the conference and hug on a wall, like that's where I need to be. Well, Friday, I got to the conference a day before, and my day before was completely crazy. But on Friday, Spirit told me to look on Robert Robert's page, YouTube page, and just, you know, see, because he was giving an update of like him being in Orlando, and I had stated that, hey, I'm in Orlando, hopefully I'll see you, because he's another person that I have truly been able to sit and just hear his story from Elena and YouTube page. So I go on his page, and there's a gentleman who by the name of John Lomax, who is like stating like, hey bro, I cannot get to the conference because of his passport being in limbo, and he bought his ticket back in April or something like that, and he doesn't have any way to get, like, he's not going to be able to get to the conference. So then I decide to message, because I had driven to Florida from Georgia, and that was my determination, that even if I couldn't get into the conference because I couldn't afford it and the tickets were already not being sold out, that I still would be amongst my people. And so Friday, when I was able to have that viewing on Robert's page, John Lomax gave me his ticket, and that's how I was able to walk through the doors on Friday at the conference. And when I walked in, like everybody was on break, so I was just in like, oh, status. And then as I'm walking in, right, because I decided that I was going to bring a little drink from home. Like, you know, I'm super budgeted out, like, you know, so I have my drink in my purse and everything. And I'm like, well, if I can't get in, I'll just sit on the outside and just like, you know, wave. But the security guard, I said, so I'm not sure what I'm able to bring inside or not. And he was like, nothing that makes the building go boom, or you're not trying to strangle anyone. I was like, no, but a drink. Can I bring in a drink? And he's like, yes. So when I bring my bag through, the guy was like, well, we didn't know it was a bottle of whiskey. I was like, it's a drink. I didn't drink there, but I'm just saying, I wasn't expecting to get it. And so that's my story of being able to be in, and then meeting you ladies. And to the first person that, when I walk through the door, the direct person that's hugging me immediately is Tony Rodriguez. He's like, oh, looks like you need a hug. I was like, oh my God. Well, I do. So it was all of that. So there's just so much. There's just so much.
You're on mute.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's wonderful. And that's why we're talking to you today, Gladys, because you were like, girl, let me tell you a story. I saw you out there at the table. I think you were looking at Marvel's.
Yeah. That's when I first met you. Like, and I was just like, oh my gosh, look at all of this. Like, and then, you know, just, I don't even know if I'm still like, I'm like, I know there's a lot of things that I like am missing, because that's how much I was present in the moment, but just had so much gratitude and so much gratefulness. Like, I was just so grateful in everything. Just the feeling.
I'm gonna say, don't be mad, y'all. I just got some sage at that crystal festival I went to yesterday, that bead show, because I completely sold out of sage. I sold almost all my jewelry. It was amazing. I've been to events before and been like, you know, just sitting there and nobody shopping. And Marvel, you did great.
Yeah,
right?
That was my first time. This was like my big launch. So this
so for
was
her
like
first time, someone
lucky.
stole 3 big crystals and what, 3-4 small crystals?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, somebody stole off my table when I was trying to go in and see some of the speakers. And I just decided to stay with my table the entire time. I didn't have any help. I mean, besides ERIKA, but we both kind of wanted to see the speakers.
But the amazing thing about that was I just took a picture right before Alex started talking. I took a picture because I wanted to send it to Terry in Canada. And then boom, when we come back after Alex, I couldn't even take Alex talking. I just busted out crying. And then it was like, oh, the table is different now.
Yeah. So it's fine, because there was such an outpour of people and support. Like,
I don't even understand that process. First of all,
Don't think
just to
about it.
be
Don't think about
like,
it. Don't think about it.
what do
Don't
you
think
think's
about it.
coming out of that? Like, what do you really think intuitively, your intentions? Like, what is coming from
Universe
that aspect?
shows.
Like, you know what I mean?
Universe showed so much support
There was
after
this
that.
beautiful woman there who I love, 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 love. She put it in a way for me. Stephanie, what if the Galactics took it and they're using it on an instrument that broke down or something? They needed a spare part. And it just kind of transformed my perspective. And I was like, you know what?
Ooh, I
Those
like
can
that.
go. I can let
It
those
was very
go.
specific. To me, that did look like some type of grid work, like it was needed for something specific because
Yeah,
three of the
because it was particular stones.
very particular.
And yeah. And there were bigger stones and more expensive stones on the table, but they just so happened to take, you know, unique stones.
It looked like a very specific pattern. I said, this is going to be used. Somebody is using this for something very specific. Otherwise, why not take the gigantic amethyst? That's huge,
I know
or
that
the
is this
dragon,
root is
any of those other things.
magnificent.
They took the terminated citrines and the other terminated, and I was like, this looks very specific.
Quartz. Yeah, just clear
terminated
quartz.
Wow.
That was pretty interesting.
But
I
you know,
think that had to be after I'd met you ladies because
yeah.
yeah,
Actually, it was before, but I didn't let you know. I didn't let on
Oh,
to
it was before.
anybody.
This was the first hour. This was the first hour. What do you mean? Right after Alex got through speaking.
Yeah.
Well, and then the fact that you give me a stone after someone has taken.
Yeah. And I only did that to 3 people. I only gave it away to 3 people, and it was people who I can tell really needed the stones. And the other one is out there. She's a super soldier. I'm not going to speak her name, but she's a very beautiful person. And I hope my yellow aqua quartz is treating her well out there and sending her so much love for what she's done for the universe.
I mean, the amazing thing too is here we are as vendors, and I don't know how many free gifts did you get? People are giving us gifts as vendors.
Oh yeah, like people were trying to give me things, and then I would automatically exchange for them something else. Like I got this a beautiful organ that somebody made with jasper in it, and it just was beautiful. And I was like, here, let me give you this. We can just trade, and I'm fine with that. You know, the people who need my stones or need to get to my stones will get my stones.
Beautiful.
I got this from Stephanie.
Yeah,
beautiful.
That's
I'm gonna
a beautiful piece.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like hearing Gladys's story and just how much she's like went through just to be among us, I was just like, you know what, I need to like
thank you
share a stone with her. So I gave her, I think you took the heart labradorite heart in that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Flash.
Yes.
Very pretty stone. And then she comes back and gives me another stone. I'm like, no.
Oh yeah, I see this is the things that I'm forgetting, because the stone that I gave I was coming to the conference with, because I had no idea what type of stone that was. And I found out at your table, like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, really? But and so I just felt the need that I'm like, I've had these for 11 years and I have 2 pieces. So you now have one and I have that. But now I know what that stone is, because forever I've been sitting on it. And I'm like, what is this? So that's my importance for coming, because now I finally am able to at least say, I don't know this, but I know somebody else that knows this. I'm now I love that I surround myself with philosophers of the world, because I don't know anything. And I'm like, they do though. And they're saying what I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it was I had such an amazing, I'm still processing everything too. It's just it's just really good to find more family members and be amongst each other and sharing information and space, holding space, and just I had the best time. Like, I didn't want it to end. Like, after I left there, I started crying because I was like, this is never going to happen again. And today I'm crying again because I guess Danny's going to do it again next
They
year.
just said
I'm
it,
like,
right? Yes, they just said it. They're going to do it again. So
yeah, so I'm just like, wow. I mean, and I feel safe at her conferences. I've been in the community a long time, and I've never felt the need or the pull or the want to go to any other conferences except hers. And I felt really safe there, even though there was some mishaps. That's fine. I think things happened the way they were supposed to, and everything worked out for everybody, and I'm just happy for all of us.
she actually mentioned, her and Elena just mentioned all of you ladies.
I know.
All of you
Brought it
ladies.
to my attention, and I just was like,
Yes.
crying. Today was
That's
actually a really hard day for me, and I just like made my day.
Yeah.
FYI, Disco Tina is in the house. She's off camera, but Disco Tina is in the house.
I'm
you
not
guys.
good. No.
We love you, Tina.
I love you guys.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Gladys. I've been just listening to you guys.
At the same time, I'm texting our Galactic Star Chart reader, Brandy, Galactic Star Charts. So I'll put her information in the chat. So when we do this live or when we drop this, I'll put that in there. But we just got through discussing our Galactic Star Charts, and we're in here talking to Gladys because we're just going by the play-by-play of what it was like to be at the conference, to meet her and to meet her family. And so we're still living off of the highlight. We're on the highlight, we're living on the highlight, so I interrupted because I wanted to make that announcement. But Tina, you chime in anytime you want to be like, what
Can I just say one thing? Gladys, are you on Telegram?
I actually Sage and everybody just told me about Telegram, so I just got on, but I'm horrible with social media.
Well, you need to become a galactic chick.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I will. I just got on, so I'm but I will definitely be a part.
Yeah, you're so welcome to be a part of our we call it our galactic ship.
Yeah, the mothership.
Mothership.
On my way back from Florida, I actually left immediately after the conference because I knew that I had to drive 7 hours. I knew that I had to work the next day along with my son and my mom. And I knew if I spent any time in saying goodbye, like I would have cried the whole way home. So I cried just a little bit, but then I realized, I was like, no, this is not goodbyes. This is the beginning. Like, it's the beginning of everything that I don't necessarily need to walk away and be like, I don't want this to be over. It's more of walking away and like, oh, I just met 930 something family members, and I'm so excited. So that's how my thought process was on the way home. I don't know, ladies, can I share this with you as well, as far as—
Please do.
I with the things that have come up in the last week since the conference, of things that have happened to me in my past that I haven't been able to really explain or figure things out. So back in my 20s, I was able to be on— right when I turned 20, I was able to be on a television show, and that television show had gone to Mexico. And in traveling into Mexico, there was a part of Mexico that we had went to, and I remember praying sincerely of wanting to, understand what my life was about. And it wasn't until my 30s that when I went to go have a reading, the reader had said to me, you brought someone back from a Latin country. And I'm not sure if that individual was actually an ancient or a non-human being. So that kind of like, it didn't freak me out when he told me then. It just was like, well, I know exactly what you're talking about, but what are you talking about? Like, you know, and it wasn't till the conference, and I don't know the shaman's name that was there. I don't know how to.
Pizza Shaw.
Oh,
Pizza Shaw.
when he came up on Sunday, and whatever he was, I'm still processing that. But what came back to me this week was an incident that I forgot all about in Mexico that took place with indigenous people. They're called the Rajamuis. I was on MTV Road Rules. So we used to do like just odd, you know, jobs during wherever they placed us at. So we were in Mexico and we had to stay in the caves. We had to, you know, be with the indigenous people of the land. And what they said to us then, which just came back to me this week, was that, you know, you gringos, don't feel sorry for us. Don't pity us. We pity you because you live with cobwebs over your eyes. So I was so happy to just be a part of people that are not seeking to live with cobweb over our eyes, that we're really here to connect to ancient teachings along with what we understand presently and how we can evolve into our future. And that's what, there's like just stuff like that that has been coming up for me that I'm like, oh my gosh, I could connect it. And finally, like I said, I have a family that now I can connect it with and not feel like, here she goes again down the rabbit hole.
Well said. Well said, Gladys.
Thank you.
Oh, but yeah, that's what it's about. And yeah, the family's getting bigger, you guys. We're gonna need a bigger mothership here soon, I feel like. Not that it's not big enough already, but yeah, it's just amazing to get in touch with everybody. It's just a really special time to be together and find each other. And now we can co-create together and, you know, not feel so alone and keep in touch. And
I was just saying
supportive of each other.
I was just saying how some people are like so empathic and so deeply feeling, because I could just see this in like both of you guys, like you're just all teary-eyed. Like I have deep feelings, but you guys are like so deeply feeling. And so like I would watch Marvel meet someone and she'd be like so enveloped by that, you know, that connection, where I know that I can meet people and I can just enjoy them, but I'm like, I'm a little bit over here. And I'm like, that's great. And then Marvel goes,
like, here, come meet my friend. You gotta meet this friend. You gotta meet that friend. You'd love them. Yeah.
I feel I kind of reserve a little bit some of mine, but Gladys, you are just so, this is me. And you were like, there's no cover sheet, there's no book cover, there's no jacket. It's just like the book is here. I'm glad. Oh my God. Right now. This is so great. I just love it. You're just like a wide, this is what you call like an open book. Like, this is me. This is how I got here. I'm gonna hug
to meet her beautiful family too.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Because my family, like I, for me, what I've experienced with my family is that they're like, we just want you to be good. Like whatever you talking about, okay. But because they're my family, I have experienced things that they can't. So they were so happy to support me in finding what matters to me. And then in turn, like the love that is I mean,
this is what I want to know. Your family came. They're not exactly of the same thinking as you. They're not like in the same space as you, but they came wide open and were like, okay, because we love you and support you, we're gonna go. And we're all in the building, and they were willing to hang out with us by the fire. So can you tell us, like, really, like, what was your mom's headspace before this happened?
Okay, so remember, I didn't get my ticket until that Friday. So my plan was, my mom's birthday passed in the summertime. We were supposed to go to Florida. We ended up not going. She said, well, we'll go at another time. So a month prior to the conference, I was like, wait a minute, since I'm going or I'm not going, why don't you come with me? And if I don't get into the conference, I'll mingle, and then we can have our time of mingling for her birthday that we weren't able to celebrate this summer. However, my son and my mother are my road dogs here in this lifetime. Like, they have always, no matter what, if they couldn't understand or anything, they still have always come with me. So that experience in them being there and then them actually seeing something manifest, knowing that it's like, you know, first of all, the ticket was a lot of money, like, you know, and for somebody like me, that's, I hope in the future that there's an option to be able to have a payment plan option, because I personally wasn't going to be able to afford a hotel, gas, conference, food, and have my family there. This was all just, I truly feel as was just my heart's prayer, and my family being able to be there.
So hold on 1 second. We're gonna share screen. I'm gonna show you guys something. Okay, here's Gladys. On roll 7.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yes, Latin America.
Yeah.
Yes, that's when I was
Gladys
pregnant with
is on
Ziya.
Fandom, y'all. She got her own page on Fandom. She's the real freaking deal. Look at you. Oh man.
I
Yeah,
love it. Oh
that's
my
a long
God.
time ago. That's like, I mean, the last time I was on a show was Battle of the Sexes when I was pregnant with my son. But I've always been this type of person. I mean, I've always seeked, I've always like asked questions. I've always been the open book, like you say, ERIKA. I mean, I feel like that's has allowed me to love my darkest places within myself, and then also allow me to connect to others that are having a really good time, a hard time in seeing or being in spaces that are really uncomfortable. And I've always, my parents have given me a great heart, so that's why I really appreciate my mom and my family, because they've always supported me, and I didn't know what a starseed was. So I think,
So the conference, mom was mingling, and she said, "I'm a mingle." And then you got your ticket, and she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this chick got a ticket." But they said, no, they can't really not believe. I'm gonna tell you this. Gladys's mom said if anybody was gonna get a ticket, it was gonna be Gladys. If anybody was gonna make it in there and make something happen, it was gonna be her. So this is just that type of phenomenal person that just does it, you know? So like we said, you were at the conference, and she and your son, they ride or die, even if they're not like totally connected to the conference or have a reason to be there. They're like, okay, we good, we got you.
but the
And
crazy part, and for my son, like my son is about to be 20. Like, you know, for me, I was so happy to meet you and everybody that was a part of that crew, because I'm like, at least I have great hopes for him, that he has people that are like-minded, his age, or whatever the case is, that he gets to look at. outside of me, because I mean, he's just like us, but he's like you, ERIKA, he's on the outside just looking in, like, yeah, I'm gonna let y'all do that and I'll take it. Like, you know, but the fact that he said he was talking, I was so happy about that too. Like, words. See, these are our people.
Let me
It's
tell
really
you.
nice to hear his perspective on things. I was very like taken aback, like, wow, he's a beautiful soul. Like, wow.
That was the amazing
Mama.
thing, because to introduce myself and just give him a little bit of background information on, here we are, this group of people who think a little bit differently than others. But here's what I want to know. What's inside your mind? Because him as a person of his age and his extreme intelligence, tell us where you think we are in our age of development. Tell us where you see the flaws, and tell us what you think we need to do to improve ourselves, this life that we live. And here he was with his hands behind his back at what we call at ease in the military, because he definitely fit that military profile. You know, just discipline, ease, and he's telling us how he sees the world through his eyes. This is what I look forward to discussing with your own son is, tell us more, because we need to sit down and be quiet and listen to the children and let them tell us what they see. Because, you know, 9 billion people on the planet, 234 billion.
There's a lot of us.
Oh, yeah, 239 or so, 234 million so people in the United States of America. Even on such a small issue as wearing a mask, we all expect that people are going to see life and deal with life the same way as we do, and we cannot.
We cannot.
But what we can do is try to listen to these children, because number one, they're coming in here already knowing, having memories, already knowing and observing. And I don't know if you remember what it's like when you were little.
Oh, yeah.
Boy, every time we pointed something out that well, Mom, why do we do pop? You know, it was like, for me, Stephanie, it was a little bit different. For me, it was like sometimes it was a little pop in the mouth, like, be quiet, stop. Yeah. They didn't want to hear what we had to say, and they didn't treat us like we were actually people. Like, since my son was little, I've known that he is a person, and I need to treat him as a person.
Wait, ERIKA, you got a baby? Wait.
Yeah.
See, this is a pot. See, no, hold on. I want everybody once again to take a pause for the cause. I have no idea about nothing.
Yeah, ERIKA's son and your son should meet sometime.
Yes.
I'm thinking y'all are, okay, wait a minute. Just like people say to me all the time, like, wait, you got a what? So I'm thinking y'all is Ziya's age. Get up out of my face. Really? ERIKA.
This way. I want you to
Her
meet my
son just turned 16. I know ERIKA looks good for her age. Look at her baby. Oh, isn't he beautiful?
Hi, I didn't know you. Wow.
He's gorgeous.
Hi. I had no idea. I didn't even know your mom was a mom. She looks like she's not a mom at all. Like, what? No.
I'm a late
no
mom.
idea.
I'm not even an early mom. I'm a late mom.
You were grown. You were about like, yeah, you like right there, Mom. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. I'm all like, yay, Z got a group. Like, that's why I was like, nah, baby, you guys need to speak to him separately, because I'm trying to like separate from because I want him not to just hear from me, like from others, and to speak his truth. My biggest thing is always speak your truth. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. So I was surprised that he was talking. I was surprised.
That's why we took the time to sit and allow him to understand, like, here you are.
Take off my hat. I'm not right under here.
He was like a king. He was a king lion. And I said, you are like royalty. No. We bow to you because we want to know who you are and what you have to speak. Who you are a king and you're a ruler. And I told your son, I said, you're a very important person on this planet. One day, people are going to come to you for answers the same way they'll come to my son for answers. I already recognize you as this person who is great. I recognize you, think differently, and that you're powerful. And I need you to walk in your power. And today we're going to talk about what you think about the world and how you see it. That's what that's basically what I was talking to your son about. And then he began to expound what I thought was very profound, beautiful, intelligent words, just life, what he had to talk about.
I'm blown away. Well, I just, from the womb, my son has always been smarter than me. So please don't think that you're going to get an intelligent answer coming like with both him and I, because he's always been so much smarter than I have been in my entire life.
Once you said that, I let him know that all the knowledge that comes through our DNA, what your mom has already learned and everybody behind her has already learned, is already there inside of you. And because of that, you will learn faster than she will, because you don't have to relearn the things that she learned. Someone can tell it to you and you will have instant knowing. So now you can keep going.
Yes.
Run with that because you already have it inside you.
Yes. Well, I mean, for me personally, I've always had great hope for the world. I've never not had hope for the world. I've had great sadness in what I've seen in the world and how people treat one another. But when it comes to humanity, I've always felt that I am a part of the servants that have come here to help serve and usher in a new wave of healing, to dialogue, communication. You're right, ERIKA, as far as our past generations was about, children to be seen, not heard. And for me, I've always felt as a child, I was here to take care of the children of the world. I mean, I am open. So like, even in the case of me having my sensitive week and having a son, I had to like start telling him at an early age, like about like, what mommy's sensitive week is, I'm my period. So, hey, when I have my sensitive week, it feels like I have to save all of the children in the world in 7 days. And I don't have any time for BS and I have no patience. You got to listen to what I have to say first. And that's it. Like, so for me, I've always been a part of wanting to be a part of the healing. And so I feel like in the last couple of years, I was really sad of not knowing what was going to take place. I've stepped out of politics. I don't speak about politics or religions to people that I really don't know, because people are really stuck in certain ways and aspects that I choose not to have to go down and speak on a level that you're not open to hearing. But I mean, definitely after the conference, I feel like everything that I've always felt as far as hope in the world, that like our future is so bright. And it's so bright because there are so many people just like me and wanting to help heal ourselves first as individuals, heal our families, heal our communities, and then go out into the world and like connect and heal across our worlds. Like, so my view has always been with people that are not of this community as delusional, but I'm like, I have a little cup that says, when one of my friends called me delusional, I almost fell off my unicorn. So for me, it's always been about like really feeding and fostering our youth, taking care of our people in front of us, like, continue to understand what it means is to really like heal through our own traumas, our own sadness, like, because what I've realized and all of the things that have truly hurt me in my life have made me an even greater person. Like, so when I look at things in that way and from my experiences in my life and then what I feel now, I am so excited about the future, but I now know in the present that I have so many people that are fighting with me, like, so that's in a gist of how I feel about the world and where it's coming and where it's going and where we're at right now. So yeah. And that's another thing that I'm so happy about the conference, because I really didn't know the conference was going to speak on things that have always been so special to me, which is about the future and how we raise our children and what we're telling them and what we're exposing them to and what we're feeding them. And everything was legit about coming together as a human race and not dividing, like, as far as, oh, what ethnic background are you, or blah, 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 all of that BS. Like, I've never been about that, like, so it's always hard when people are there and in that frequency, because I'm like, yo, at the end of the day, birth, age, sickness, and death is absolute. Like, how we deal with it is how we deal with it. But you would want to heal yourself to leave the world a better place when you're not here. And that's what I've always been about.
I look forward to it. Where's your son today?
He's in his room. Like, I honestly didn't know what this was going to be. So I'm really happy that I put a hat on, like, cause I had no idea. I'm glad that my bed's made today. I'm glad.
Okay.
Because I had no idea. But he's in his room. Let me see what he's in. Can you give me a moment?
Yeah.
Sure, we can.
Okay.
And just while she's gone, I'm just gonna say we met a young man named Devin who he flipped my lid. I so look forward to talking to Devin. And I had such a long conversation with Devin. Devin is on the autism spectrum, and he spoke about how he had depression and anxiety, and it was so severe. And he was just talking to me about how he made all these decisions to change his life, and decisions to change his connections with people, decisions to change how he looked at the world. And I said, well, how did you come to this? Because I got a son. I want to know, how can he change his mindset? And he made all these decisions on his own. And he felt that, or he feels that he can actually help our children that are on the spectrum to come to these decisions themselves and actually show them how to unlock the door. So that was on alone just amazing. So here we are back with Gladys. What we got?
Okay, Ziya will be here in one moment. He was like,
okay, no problem.
So he's coming.
No
coming to pop in and out.
So with Devin first, I get the blessing of actually going to meet his mother in person because they live locally. And so I'm going to take my son to go meet Devin and his mother so she can explain to me, how was it growing up with this autistic child? Because, honey, I know the pain. I've done it. And this person that you see who can even come in front of the camera right now, that's not who he was. I tell him, like, look, buddy, you weren't easy at all. He likes to have this perspective like, oh, no, I'm great. And I'm like, no, you weren't always great. Okay, so it was hell dealing with you. Okay, so, but even if he can flourish even further, we talked about the school system and how it doesn't really promote, the best things for our kids to actually flourish. How it actually it's almost like they're in a way trying to stall our kids to slow them down so that their best years of learning are smothered with these repetitive tasks, doing the same things over and over and feeling unrewarded.
Competition too.
Repetition. Because a lot of kids say, well, why should I have to do it if I've already done it already? And then, of the mindset too, why should I have to learn some stuff that I'm truly not interested in at this time? We should be following what our kids are really interested in and allowing them more apprenticeship opportunities. So I was actually kind of glad that my son this weekend I've been looking and watching, and I'm like, are you gonna quit school or what? And he's like, no, but you're not doing the work. You don't enjoy it. Are you gonna quit school or what? And so finally he came to this decision. It was so funny. It's because of you. Oh, it's because of you, Stephanie, because you broke down in Clearwater area. I had to call my nephew. My nephew was telling me about his great opportunity with the metaverse. There's some projects that he's gonna work on. That then I talked to my nephew about my son, and he's like, well, he needs to come work with me. And I'm like, oh, finally, the apprenticeship has arrived. And he said, Auntie, you already know that this is going to happen because he's special like me. Because my nephew used to get in so much trouble in class because he knew how to do math without formulas. Like the Queen's Gambit, she used to play chess on the ceiling. Like my nephew can move the numbers around without writing it down. And in class, they always want you to write it down. And if you can't explain to them how you got the answer, they want to say, oh, it's wrong. And so I remember when my nephew was young, we all had to go down to the school and complain and be like, hell no, he got the right answer. He didn't cheat. Why do you have a problem? Because his mind is different and special, but being ignored and told that it's wrong.
Well, the crazy thing that what I connect to that, because it's all throughout elementary school, high school, that they want to have you think that you're only supposed to learn one way. And then when you get to college, you find out you're supposed to learn 5 different ways. You can learn 5 different ways, but it's what my understanding is that now that's already burnt out of a child because you killed him pretty much, or her spirit, within elementary school, preschool, high school. And then when they finally, if they get to college, then you're like, oh no, there's so many different ways of learning and you can flourish in any way. But when I always did poorly in school, I never connected in school. So and my son actually decided that he was leaving school because of exactly that. Like, this doesn't make sense. It's a waste of my time. Like, and I had to support him on that because I'm like, you're right, it doesn't make sense. And it is a waste of your time. But what are you going to do with your life? Like, and in that type of way, he's been able to, I'm waiting for him to come in, but I'm not sure what he's doing. But today he had class, he had a course, he's taking college courses for writing and drawing. And so that's something that he has always done and he does really well. So since he's doing his own thing, he's a lot better than he was the last couple of years with COVID in high school, which is horrible for children in that whole entire period of learning online. No. No. I don't know what he's doing. Sorry, ladies.
No, don't worry.
Okay.
Well, I'm personally looking for something because there was a film that I watched about the school, the education system, and I'm trying to find that video. It's like Gelato or something.
Harry.
I'm trying to find it. What is his name? It's like Gelato. Gelati? But yeah, we have all the time in the world.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Are we there?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Oh, lift that hair from me. Let me see. Oh my God, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you too.
But you knew you was gonna see me again. So what's up?
It's doing good. It's doing good. I just came back in to say hi.
Oh, so you're doing a class right now, right?
No, I actually work tomorrow like at 7, so I just wanted to get to sleep before like 9 so I could cook, get some breakfast in me before I leave. Well, actually, mom drops me off, but yeah.
Stop him tomorrow, but today.
Oh, tomorrow, yeah. Hey, I thought you were finishing up some schoolwork tonight. And
No.
I just wanted to say, like, it was so good to meet you. I'm looking forward to talking with you. My son, he's like, okay, mom. He probably maxed out at that like 1 minute and 30 seconds. He was like, okay, that's enough. I'm going back to my room. But so how did you feel about being at the conference with your mom? A little tiny bit. I'm gonna take a little bit of time, okay?
How did I feel about being at the conference, Mom? It was cool, though I did wish that we had more time to explore Florida. Mom knows this already. Uh, I it was interesting meeting you guys all. I got to see different like walks of life, interesting people. You guys had your own different attitudes and beliefs on different things. But they were similar. They just like it was just interesting to see how they mixed up. But yeah, it was an interesting place to be at. So yeah.
I was glad for that. And then, so when it comes to your perspective on life and school and things like that, I don't know if you wanted to share any of that, but um, could you say that being around this group of people, that people were really open to your perspective, or what you see where you could like actually have a forum to actually teach people more about what you think they should be doing as what we call so-called galactic human beings, you know? Like, did you feel like you had space to be you and where you could share?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely did. So I wasn't really able to get like I don't really talk that much to begin with, but I do I do feel like that if I had the chance to, I could get some like we could engage in some sort of meaningful dialogue. But yeah, really for me, you were asking what my beliefs are about the world, or just asking how do you think I could get that out in that sort of environment?
Do you feel like this is a good space where you could actually introduce new ideas? Because what I'm saying is that you possess a unique perspective where young people, they possess a unique perspective that needs to be shared so that people can see where the flaws are, where we can start to say, hey, let's start talking more about what the kind of ideas that you have, where the way you see the world. So I believe in having this open forum, right? Where I feel like we should be able to talk about sex, drugs, alcohol, how people live their lives, religion, all these things where we need to be open and honest and just cut the bullshit, you know, and just really talk about it. And, you know, I just look forward to in the future having people like you and, you know, and my own son be like, you know what, that's kind of whack. I don't really like the way that this works. And tell us more about these things that you think suck or they don't work, and tell us why, because I don't think that people listen to young people enough about, you're the one that's was in school. So tell me what sucks about school. Tell me what sucks about being at a job, or, you know, just the way that you maybe see, even how you see your mom's life is, right? How we got to struggle paying bills and doing all these things. Tell us where you see in your ideal world, this is what it would be like. And so.
Okay, so for me, this is just something that I'm starting to engage with more, considering the fact that I'm also like I'm younger and interacting with like an older generation. But I have some people who say that this generation is failing and that it is going to hell, or in a sense. And I also hear other people say that this generation is our future and it will carry us towards a new horizon. Personally, for me, being in this generation, I think it is honestly just a mix of both. But it's like it's the same thing as any other generation, but with a different set of problems. We're all human. Like a new generation, different environment, but same shit. So like when I'm walking through high school, I see like to be honest, I see a bunch of people who I wouldn't say they're stupid, but I would say that they don't try to push beyond their like mental capabilities. They're very much with being like flat like base level, not trying to be like, not having a genuine curiosity of things, not trying to evolve or grow as individuals. And part of that is because of the environment that they grew up in, which was given to us by the past generation. But at the same time, like every other generation before us, there's always these like exceptional people that you'll find who do want to push past that, like the wolf in sheep's clothing. I am not sure. I might have met some of these people. I do not know. I would say that I met more sheep, or the sheep, than I had met wolves. When it comes to me, I don't know. I have not grown enough yet to know. But
Your own experiences.
just in my own experience, I just believe that either way, we're still, like, no matter what the generation is, we're still at this level of flatness that's not going anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are, school, job, career, marriage, relationships. It doesn't matter. No one's trying to fix anything, or not no one's trying to fix anything, but nothing is getting fixed, not gradually at least. It's going up and down. I'm not seeing, like, I really don't see any progress. Like, I have a couple girls who are in their 20s, and the stuff, like, they hate their jobs. And they're not willing to, and just what's it called, like, and compared to the people who are older than them, like in their 40s and 50s, they hate their jobs.
People do. They hate their jobs. They hate their lives.
They hate their jobs. They hate their
They hate
relationships.
their lives, and they have absolutely no power to change it. They just keep doing it, right?
Yeah, like nothing ever changes. And we could ask, like, why is nothing ever changing? I think, like, that's just this is the same thing with me, but people talk, but we rarely ever move forward. And that's because people are comfortable with complaining, but we're not comfortable with action, because action requires us to actually put effort and become uncomfortable. Because it's like this, it's like this, that you have to, what's it called? So imagine you're in the shower, right? And you turn the temperature too hot or too cold. We are angry and annoyed that your shower is too, like, at an uncomfortable level, but we don't want to put the effort into actually flipping the shower current, the temperature, to make it more comfortable or actually effective for us. That's how a lot of things are in society. Some of it is us, some of it is on us, some of it is on the environment that we live in. But all in all, like, there's not a lot that we do to actually improve ourselves. I'm hoping it's gonna change. I see some things changing, but then at the same time, I see some things also not progressing, like degressing, I believe it's the terminology is.
Right. Right.
And it's just, I don't know, whatever happens in the future is whatever happens in the future. Sometimes, like, either everything burns or something new and exciting comes to fruition. So who knows?
I appreciate that. Let me see something. I appreciate that, because what I see is the same thing you see. Some of us, like, especially too, our hearts are so big and so fluffy and so loving, and we want to go and help everybody. But then we don't realize that some people like to talk about their problems just because they like to talk about their problems. They're not really seeking change. Therefore, they suck up your energy and they suck up your time, but they never really had intentions on changing in the first place. And so here it is, they expressing their problems to you, and they end up pulling you down because that's all they really like to do. People like to be on this spinning wheel sometimes of inaction, not of action, but of inaction. So they're on this spinning wheel, just doing the same thing over and over. Like they say, if you do the same thing over and over and expect change, then that's insanity, right? But you know, and they want to include you in this process, and you're like, well, why don't you do this? And then they have not empowered themselves enough to change. And so I feel like that's what you're kind of talking about, and you're just tired of looking at that, and you're on mute. Okay, so you're kind of tired of looking at people constantly talking about their problems. And they're just like that frog that's in the water, and the water is warm, and then the water gets so hot they get boiled in it, right?
Right. And
until it's just too late.
yeah, and to be honest, what's it called? What's the saying? Like, as I said before, the first time we talked, I believe that I said this: human beings are such a very ourselves. Well,
go ahead.
Okay, so I was saying that we in it of ourselves are a very new species. We're like what, couple hundred thousand years old, compared to millions of our species that had like millions of years to evolve and grow and change. But with humans, we're like, there's nothing else there's nothing else like us. We have gone to a point, and we've gone to a point where we are so far past the baseline for intelligence and self-awareness that it's possible that nothing else on Earth will be like us ever again. Yet we are screwing ourselves over by not just like our lack of self-awareness, but how fast we're going, how fast our not physical evolution, but societal evolution is. And because we don't know ourselves, and so many people don't know human nature in and of itself, that we have stuff like the mental health crisis. We have all these issues between, like, we have feminist movements, we have red pill, we have politics. Politics is something that's different, but like we have this discourse between politics and it's just like, it's a lot of it, though complicated. If people understood human nature more, I believe that would be all things would be, we could progress or have a much easier time with governing ourselves. Like, no one understands human nature, psychology, biology, all these, no one wants to talk about sex. Like, it's literally within us. What's it called? One of the most toxic masculine beliefs is that men don't cry. But what the heck are tear ducts for? Like I said before, at different mammalian species show grief in different ways. Even like it could show grief in different ways.
It's not that men don't show grief. It's been said that men shouldn't show grief, and it's trying to be perpetuated that men should not cry. That's the bullshit part. And it's so funny that you would bring that up, because on Tuesday night, the Galactic Dudes are actually going to talk about that. These beliefs that men should not cry, and that men don't express themselves, and men aren't emotional, men are able to love. And I see lots of men going out here loving, expressing, crying, and emotional. They're able to attach to people's kids who aren't even their own without abusing them. They're actually loving people on a whole nother level, and we don't give them credit for that. So just because, because you said the men don't cry, it's not that they don't. It's just being perpetuated that they shouldn't. And they're trying to squeeze people into these boxes where they're trying to suffocate them from their natural expression and change their identity to also like mutilate them. I can't express it any differently, but to mutilate them and change them and pervert them from what they really are, and pervert them into some type of category that they are not. necessarily in. It's some type of abuse. It's some type of programming that's out here to try to destroy what we think about each other. They're trying to separate men from women, separate women from men, and just mutilate and pervert our existence and not even acknowledge truly what we really are. But I'll let you go on.
And the thing is, like, that's crazy about this is I find this very amusing, but damaging at the same time, is that like all these fallacies that and like illusions that we're creating, when we ignore, like, that's like the lack of understanding human nature and reality. Like, if you understood human nature in of itself, like, you know that men cry. We all men have the ability to cry, but in reality, you should not be crying to everyone you meet, or you should not just break down. There's a time and place to be vulnerable, and there's a time not to be. Because if you allow yourself to be vulnerable to the wrong person, then you yourself might get attacked. However, what I am seeing, which is crazy, is online on social media and TikTok, and it's usually for women, they are crying constantly, just going on page, crying to people who they do not physically know, instead of getting help from a professional, like therapist or family member who knows. And all these people who have no business in their environment whatsoever is saying,
so this is what I call
terrible advice.
This is what I call dumping your purse out in the middle of the room for everybody to see. Being a drama queen, you're dumping your whole purse out when you got a family. You have people in your life where you're acting as if,
but it's accepted.
The whole purse out, and then wondering, why did people victimize me? Why did they insult me? Why did they give me all these opinions that I didn't need? Because you dumped your purse out in the middle of the goddamn public.
May I say something?
That's not what you're supposed to do. But I'm gonna shut up. I gotta turn my mic on mute because you're talking the kind of stuff that I like, and that's why I like talking to you, because there you go. Ooh, baby. Ooh, you're talking that high.
There was this thing that happened with my friend Larry, the guy who I talked to you about, and we were talking, and basically what happened was I went on TikTok and I just saw this girl who shows like a lot of like thirst traps, like she wears a lot of bikinis, bras, stuff like that on what's online, and she has big breasts, I'm not gonna lie, but she posts something where she highlighted a comment that a guy said, like, and the comment was like mommy milkers or calcium cannons, and she was having a problem with that. So then I'm just like, that's like, I get it, like, you don't want people to do that, but what the heck do you expect when that's the only thing you post online? It's one of the many things, like, you literally go into your car, videotape yourself in a bikini, and expect, and all this positive attention you're getting, you're fine with. But when the negatives come out, you're not fine with it? That's stupid. You know that's what you're gonna get. You know that's what you're gonna get, and that's exactly what you're looking for. You just don't like it. That's negative, and that's making fun of you. I talked to Larry about this, and we agreed. However, when I talked to his sister, she had a whole other thing. It's like she had a whole other thing, like, people shouldn't be doing that, and it's rude and it's unnecessary. I'm like, I know, but that's what happens when you put yourself out there like that. If I go and wear a cop uniform and a person comes up to me and says, officer, someone help me, someone robbed me, I'm like, I'm not, like, why are you coming to me saying that I'm an officer, even though I'm wearing an officer's uniform? Like, that makes no sense. It's completely illogical. And so it's just like all this stuff is happening. Like, women are saying, don't sexualize me. You're sexualizing yourself. You put the energy that you're putting out there is what you're getting back. What else do you want? The world is literally like revolving around you, and yet you have a problem with it. Hold on, is that my phone? Yeah, it's my phone. And it's just, and it's so dumb. But it's like, it's what we're allowing stuff to happen. we're allowing these women to get big heads. Men, like, and I would say men are a really big part of that because we think, and Jesus, I've been seeing so much of this stuff on social media, and I didn't know how bad it was. But like, men were giving all this attention to women who don't deserve it because the only thing that they're putting out there is their body. The only thing that they're putting out there is their body, and then women are getting big heads and they're thinking that because I'm beautiful, that's the only thing that matters is my physical appearance. And so they have bad attitudes. They don't have any like relationship skills. They don't know how to keep a man.
Hold on 1 second, because I'm gonna let you finish. Now, what did you just say?
It's like they're not even thinking things through.
They don't think things through, right?
They don't.
And so when you get bad results, what happens when they don't think things through? They get all this negative feedback that they don't want, right? How do you feel about that?
It's pretty stupid.
It's just pretty stupid because you're getting feedback you don't want, but you put yourself out there, right? I'm gonna let you go ahead.
And I told Larry, and we were talking while I was continuing the conversation with Larry's sister. I told her, I'm like, when it comes to Instagram, if a girl I find attractive or like, if I find out she's just posting thirst traps on Instagram, like forget about OnlyFans, like that's not even gonna happen. No, forget that. But if I find that you're doing all that stuff on Instagram, I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. That makes me want to hesitate with you, because I not only is just like I'm not the jealous type. Like I really don't care. It doesn't even matter if we go out and someone says you're pretty. Like yeah, you're pretty, but you're actively going. You realize when you were going on Instagram and posting stuff, you're actively going out, searching for attention. So that makes me think like, why are you doing that? You're engaging with your audience, who you know you're gonna get. And like I said, I'm not the jealous type, but how does that make sense? It shows something about your character. And then she said, well, that says something about you. I'm like, of course it says something about me. But at the same time, it's like, why are you doing that? Like you're only posting thirst traps. What and you have someone that you're with. Like it shows like a bit of, I'm not gonna lie, it shows a bit of disrespect, but not everyone's like that. Some people actually don't care. I know some people who don't care. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I like that you use the word thirst trap. Because back in the day, us old folks, we know what it means to be thirsty. Right, Stephanie? When chicks is thirsty. And they want to come on Facebook in a thong. Because I see a lot of
for a tall glass of water, you know?
Attention seekers. That's my biggest thing. I'm a people watcher, so you can easily see where people are seeking what type of attention are you seeking? Do you want positive or do you want negative? And that's where it boils down to, like, you know, and connecting to
people are so appalled that they get an inbox with a dick pic.
Yeah, like wait a minute, it's like,
isn't that what you wanted? A dick pic, right? Somebody to look at you. Because I see a lot of I see some tarot readers out there in their underwear, just on the they in the story on the page. What are
you selling?
For? It makes me wonder what you're looking for when somebody pops up with a dick pic. Now you're like, oh my god, what the fuck happened? He was out there being what? What do you call it? First, what? Which color? Thirst trapping. Oh,
thirst trap. Mm-hmm.
But talk that talk, John Henry.
It's just, it's so bad. And then she said it was something about me. I'm like, yeah, but at the same time, like, you're being, and for me, like I said, I don't want to date anyone like that because you're being in an environment that is just not. It doesn't seem healthy in the first place.
Or are they actually the ones creating the environment? Because if you didn't put it out there, you create the environment, you create a hostile environment, and then you want to hold on, oh my God, you want to clutch your pearls because it's tough. But you
but like the environment between the model, or the Instagrammer and the audience. Like I think it's just both ways. You can't exclude one without the other. Because without the attention, she wouldn't have gone to where she was. But without her body and her actively putting herself out there, no one the attention wouldn't be. Wait, what?
I mean, I've gotten some dick pics during something was going on Facebook where they were, I don't know what they did, but a bunch of guys from Fiji, all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls and men are in bed and they're showing. But that was a part of some type of algorithm they had going on with Facebook where they do show porn. Yeah, they do show porn. I found a whole, actually, I was Dr. Ben Joseph. I was looking, my mom was talking about Dr. Ben Joseph. I went on in his group. It was littered with actual porn videos. Dr. Ben Joseph is an archaeologist talking about studies. And it was littered with porn to the point where there was even a video of a woman with a dog.
No way.
A woman with a dog. I didn't even press the fucking button because I was like, oh my God.
No animals and children. No animals and children. Like no animals, no children. But
this is Facebook. They censor everybody, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't talk about Biden, right? But they got full-grown porn. Right?
It's getting worse too. You know Twitch? You know Twitch?
I don't fuck with Twitch.
Okay, yeah. So you know what it is though.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Twitch is basically a streaming platform. It used to be really just for like gamers and like some people were gambling on there. But now, oh my God, because now there's like women because you can get paid on Twitch. People will pay you donations on Twitch.
This is already giving me a headache right now.
So girls will go out and do like they won't show their body explicitly, but they'll do sexually prolific. Actually, that's not true because they'll go online, bikinis, get in the water, and just talk while bunches of men are giving her hundreds of dollars just to sit there and look pretty. Now, there was even this one guy named Aiden Ross who and he brought on a porn star, well, sort of OnlyFans model, really an OnlyFans model, Skybree, and she was basically waving her breast around on camera. And Twitch is a platform where everyone can see it. So there's little kids on this stuff where you can see, where they can go on and see it. And unless they age restricted, but I don't think he does. So they went on. So they even went like off camera where Aiden ended up touching both her breast and her butt. And they told everyone that was going to do it. I'm like, bro, did you not know there's other people on this platform? There are little people on this platform. What are you doing? So, and then it's getting worse, yo. Because there's been people who've been banned off of Twitch for doing like minor stuff, like saying stupid stuff on Twitch, but they've been permabanned. I forgot what exactly the conditions or the like what happens if you're permabanned, but it is nothing. It is so small compared to what this one chick did. And what she did was she ended up getting rammed, like having sex on camera, off of it. Like there was a dude like there was someone doing a position to her off camera, but you could still see her. And so, and she only got banned for 7 days. 7 days. While this other dude got permanent, which was crazy. And he ended up contacting her. I was like, how many days you got banned? And when he found it, he was like, what the?
This is why, this is exactly the reason why I choose not to tune in, because there's just so much of this type of behavior. And I'm just hearing about this too, but this is one of the things, it's cause and effect, right? So what we teach our community, what we teach our people, like whatever you do, that's a cause. There's an effect that's going to come with it. So in that, like, even what I speak to Ziya, because Ziya and I can be truly passionate about what we believe in and certain things like that. But I also say, like, I don't put my energy in places that I don't want to be consumed in that, because it's easy to get sucked in by what everybody is doing or shouldn't be doing and things like that. And then
Yep.
where you're putting attention where you don't necessarily need to put attention to, because one of the things for the conference that I wasn't aware of just as far as what TikTok is and who's created that, and then the EMFs that come from that, and all, it goes all down and down and down. But my focus, even when I speak to Z, is that, you know, I can understand for young people today, there's so much that's on technology and so much that's coming at a fast rate but he himself is still responsible in what comes into his space. Like, you know, so in speaking of certain things of not wanting to be a part of it or what have you, like, you know, there's other ways to address situations that are affecting our youth, instead of like being something that I learned just recently from one of, I'm sure, Danny's interviews with someone, it's that I'm here to observe, not absorb, because it's so hard to just like really take all of that in. And then that's where young people get confused and then go out into the world and think that this is really ways of interacting, and it's not at all. So it's all tied into it, as far as porn, like, to all different types of things. So for me, it's just like, it's too much. It's just too much.
You want to know something? I didn't actually realize how bad like things are getting, because I just tuned out of it so much. But now that I think about it, there's like, I've been in areas where I know that all of this stuff has been impacting me.
And look at everything that's being pulled up right now.
What's that? Cut?
ERIKA showing her screen.
Hey, so Cuties. Remember Cuties came out and they auditioned over 400 girls to do this. Over 400 girls. This is the imagery of Cuties.
I've never seen that. What?
I remember. I've been teaching.
In the movie Cuties, they okay, here you go. Here you go. On the side. This was Cuties. You see that? You see that? All that was going on in Cuties.
I don't.
So over 400 girls auditioned for this. And
This makes me not want to.
It's just uncomfortable. It's not even not making you want to have a daughter. It's parenting. Like, everybody's not meant to be parents. Like,
I'm just like afraid for her.
so 11, from 11 to 13, over 400 of them auditioned for it, and it was supposed to be like a docudrama type thing. But the first, you know, just the opening setup was a little girl, you know, doing all the dancing, and they were doing a little dance troupe thing, which I still feel a little funny about American dance troupe stuff that they do. You know, I told one of my cousin's baby mom to, like, hey, this looks like some
sexualized.
What is it? Hot for Santa or sexy Santa stuff. And she was all offended. And I was like, well, that's what you got your child out there looking like. Anyway, but Cuties was these 400 girls. And the one girl, she stole a cell phone, took a cooter shot. Within the first 30 minutes, she took a cooter shot on her family member's phone, and she used it for blackmail. It was so much going on in that. And I said, hey, Tyler, what do you feel about that? He was completely repulsed. And I think it's funny too, because this also goes on to teaching kids about sex in elementary and middle school, when a lot of kids don't want to be sexualized at that age. Like, you don't want to. Do you want to talk about sex? Do you want to learn sex education, really? Like, about, I mean, are you even excited about sex or things like that? My son already told me at age 13, he said that's PG 18, or what age was it? 17, 18? You said MA, mature, rating what age?
17 or 18.
17 or 18, and you didn't want anything to do with it, right? So a lot of people are trying to say, but kids need to know. He told me, hell no, I don't want to see that. And he didn't want to see that movie. He didn't want to see that show. He didn't want to talk about sex or be sexualized at this age. And so I have no choice but to think people are trying to sexualize our kids with a very intent purpose. And they got our kids, like they're doing it on Instagram, and they got our kids doing it on Instagram. And they're after our kids' souls. So I think if most people knew, if most females knew that these people, you're 19, right?
Yeah.
My son is 16. He don't want no parts of that, okay?
Don't
Our
go to
kids
parties.
don't want any parts of that. So stop trying to broadly generalize that all kids want this when they don't. Stop trying to shove sex down their throats. Stop trying to, get them enslaved with pornography at this age when they don't want it. They don't want it. They don't want to see it. They don't want to hear it. But I just had to point that out because that was Cuties. That was about 2020, maybe 2020 when that came out.
Never even seen that. That's crazy.
It's on Netflix, I think. Or they might have taken it down now. Because
No,
they
they
was,
did not. And then
oh,
to find out the people that were at the award show that got an award for this, they actually, some of them were involved in child pornography, and they got in trouble. So you wonder why certain movies come out. These people who are giving us programming for the internet and for these movies, they're addicted and enslaved. And they're promoting that same enslavement, and they're trying to entrap us in it. And if you don't have that kind of wisdom to check out of it and be like, whoa, what is this that I just ingested? You'll digest it and you'll be enslaved as well. And so for us to have two boys, because I really feel like TV kind of promotes this thing, like your son was saying, oh, men don't cry, and men objectify women, and men are all about this toxic masculine. No, it's actually not true. The media, social media, the type of people that promote movies and television, they're the ones. It's not the broad public, because most men that I meet, they're not all into that entrapment and enslavement and that mindset. They actually want nothing to do with this. They're actually speaking against it. But we got the loud minority versus the silent majority. And people need to understand what is the silent majority. Because most of us don't make a move. And guess what? Most of us are busy working, and we're so trapped in this money system trying to make life happen. We don't have an opportunity to see this. I don't see all the nasty stuff that goes on Ellen and all these little shows. I don't see all this, garbage, because we're busy we're barely trying to pay to breathe, because we're literally paying for oxygen right now. But I'm gonna let you go ahead, Gladys, and your son, and because I can.
Zia had just one, like, before you go, like one last. What were you saying?
Because there's like a couple of things. So I remember back in elementary school, and I realized this stuff was being pushed out, because this is when I was back in private school, and these kids had much more access to technology than we did. Like
very wealthy children, wealthy
private
children.
school versus public school kids. They had phones before we did, and we were in the same grade. So what happened was, my cousin and I ended up going to this party, and so when we got to the party, every person was in a bathing suit. And matter of fact, these guys are like all 10 to 12 years old. So all the girls are in their bikinis. And though it was a pool party, it was a pool party, but they were still in there dancing and stuff when they were inside the house. And I'm like, what? And me and my cousin are just like standing there. What is this? Like, why is everyone in bathing suits? This makes me feel weird. And
Zia went to private school in Pasadena, California. So
yeah.
There, and I have always felt, as being a nanny and nannying very, very wealthy families to families that are not so wealthy, but children that come from truly wealthy families they don't necessarily not, I won't say all of my families, but the majority of my families left their children to be loved by the help. So a lot of the time, you know, they're just by themselves. And what I've been able to understand from that is that, you know, children that come from the inner city, you know, they see their families, their parents struggle, and the struggle is always with money, like, you know, or something like that, like, you know, but children that I have been able to help with their families and, you know, as their nanny, and then, you know, Zia going to private school, like I realized like how much like wealthy families, like their children need just as much love and support and guidance as children that are in the streets in inner cities, because I feel like the inner city children know love and true laughter and struggle, but children that come from extreme wealth, like everything is at their feet at the door. Like, you know, so it's very easy for them to become addicts and have so much at their, like, that surround them at a very young age. So the fact that things can be super sexualized as well is so in their environments, just like it's in our environment in the inner city and in between. So
That's not the craziest part.
it's just, it's so there's a lot that can go on in that manner. That's why I always think like home is where war and peace begin, and go outside the home.
Well, this stuff is happening now. Like when I ended up
It's
saying,
been happening, yeah.
yeah, like when I was at the party, I walked into the bathroom and I saw these two girls who were half naked, and they yelled at me to get out of the bathroom. But the thing was, the door was not locked, so that, and anyone could have walked in there and they would have seen them. I've seen kids making out with multiple different like other people.
Where are the parents? Like this, like
This was
I
in
don't
the
even
back of a
understand.
bus.
Yeah, no, but that went from the party to the bus. Like, see, and this is stuff that I'm like, I don't even know that, because if I would have known that, I would have been on everybody's child immediately. Like, you know what I mean? It would like that's not appropriate. Like, and that's the part that we're not seeing in society, is that.
So what this reminds me of, oh my God, my son magically turned into a cat. You see that? Oh God. That's magic. What I heard about when I was in the military, this is before Tyler was even born, is this thing called the lipstick game.
Oh,
And then they put those little jelly bracelets. Stephanie, did you know about the lipstick game? Oh my God.
Sounds weird.
Each girl wears a different color lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear this.
And so they have a little party, and the boy that gets the most colors of lipstick on his private parts wins. That's the lipstick game. So remember, we used to have those little jelly bracelets.
What the
So
hell?
now now the thing is with the jelly bracelets, and it might not even be now. This is like 10 years ago. When my son was little, I learned a whole lot of stuff, like POS, parents over shoulder, shoulder. These things that we have to learn when you're a parent, because people, you know, they write these little codes. But the different color bracelets
Was the different parts of sexual acts that you can have performed on you, or who is
that's what
performing
you're
it.
into. So those are like, oh, this is what I do. So brown, pink, these are tell you. So we got to get quick with it, you know, with some of our kids. But Archer is the new co-host. But
Archer, baby, I miss you. I didn't
Oh
get
my
to say
God.
bye-bye to him. Archer.
Look at-
Oh, I love him. That was my cuddle buddy when I was staying with ERIKA.
Yeah, he was.
He's giving you
With
kisses.
the meditation.
He's such
But-
a sweetie.
But those things, you know, there's these things. There's a current, and then there's a current, and then there's like this undercurrent, and then there's an undertow that'll suck you down. But yeah, I'm glad you hit a lot of really good information, a lot of really good points. And so we just have to be aware of this world that we're living in. But I know that you'll be back and you'll be able to talk about more things that you see and know. And after we talk to Devin and his mom, and then we can, you know, I want this forum to keep flowing for people with the 16 to 20. My son has like an extreme low tolerance. He's like, ugh, extreme low tolerance with talking about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
He refuses to be put in these categories and perform on these levels. And so he will not watch anything that has any kind of sexual content. He is like, no, no, no. My son is like, Mom, just shut your little lips.
Say no more. Say no more.
But you
Pineapple.
know, feel like here we are. Stephanie's a mom. I'm a mom. You're a mom. And here we are. We're just talking about this kind of stuff. But our kids, they see our mindset and they see where we're at. They absorb and they project the kind of energy that we project because we are these powerful moms that are honest and full of love and full of light, and they see the world clearly, even more clearly than us. But because we're not living in this false matrix, I feel like our kids see the world clearly, and we need to really talk about this, what they see, because they go to school and they spend most of their time around people who, you know, they're not so great at times, or they're in trouble at times, or they're in need at times. Because, you know, sometimes we can look at adults or children and we can see them pretty dark. But then what if we're the only light that they have in the whole world? And remember when you were in school, weren't you trying to save people then? I remember people that were like, oh no, I'm out of school, or oh no, my mom did this. And oh no, there were some girls, maybe even they come into the 9th grade and they're pregnant, and you're like, who's having sex with the 9th grader? Why did I have 10 9th graders, more than 10 9th graders pregnant when I was at R.B. Stall High School in Charleston, South Carolina, where people got money?
Yeah.
Why are these people coming in here pregnant? And you know, you see all this stuff with social services and you're like, but yeah, did anybody really push the issue why these girls are 13, 14 years old pregnant? I remember in elementary school, boys passing around notes about, do you like me? Check yes, no, maybe. And then there were some more explicit notes, and there was some more older kids in our class, but was anybody really checking on them to see like, why are these kids being sexually so
And then society is glamorizing it with this 16 and pregnant bullshit too. So they're just backing it up and supporting it through the broadcasting.
I read the maps.
Oh yes, we heard of maps. Say what it is. Go ahead and say it out loud.
Minor attracted people or
You
persons.
are the stuff, my son. You know it. They had maps on Facebook, didn't they?
No, I don't even go on
Oh, they
Facebook.
had it on there. They did. I
They have it
remember
on Twitter. They have it on Twitter too. What's it called? TikTok, Instagram. Because I didn't know until I saw it on YouTube.
minor attracted.
And,
So
and I
some
was like,
people
wait, what?
are under that little rainbow flag and they're like, no, but they don't really know that the person standing behind you isn't talking about man, woman, woman, man, woman, 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 man, man. They're not talking about that. They're saying, I identify as a 6-year-old and I'm 56 years old. And I don't see why I can't be in love with a 6-year-old child because I identify as. And so there's this thing called maps for those people. Like, this is just who I am. This is who I am. There's that man boy in Nambla. They joke about it on South Park. The man boy love association, blah 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 blah. I've seen their magazine. I've seen it.
Nah, stay away from me because I'm gonna go to prison if you say something
Justin
like
Bieber
that.
on there a few times. They like to keep Justin Bieber on the cover. But yeah, that man blah. They talked about it in, you know, different talk shows too. But yeah, this is, you know, hey, we can we can say love and light all we want, but there's just some things going on that we need to talk about.
Darkness. I mean, that's
Out there.
yeah, the dark places and spaces, and why you should want to protect your children even more so. It's like there's so much, yet there is I mean, I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you come from. You can be affected by, like, just there's always something that's lurking around to bring others down. But if we're more aware, like, you know, just within our everyday and our community, then it's easy for us to protect everybody that's around us and easily be able to see the person that's not supposed to be around us, like, you know, collectively. But we haven't gotten there yet. But soon we will. Soon we will. Soon we will.
Oh, all right.
Well,
I'm gonna go.
All right. Ziya,
I'm
say
grateful for you.
something,
And I was
lady.
gonna say it. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm grateful for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thank you because I know people your age are
Thank
like,
you so much.
I got things to do. You want, mom? You know, my son be like, what you want?
be on.
All
I'm sorry. I gotta go.
right,
I
I'll
know you gotta get ready for
So
tomorrow.
much.
Yeah.
And we went in long.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
So I'm so grateful, Gladys, for you just giving us your time and for you giving us, you know, your son's time.
Absolutely.
We're gonna say goodnight.
Good
Don't
night.
hang up, Gladys, though, but we're gonna officially say goodnight to the people, but I gotta talk about a few more things after we close out.
Okay,
But
good.
Marvel Bliss, any last words like about this conversation?
Heavy topics, but I'm glad we're talking about it and getting a perspective of the younger people. We are so in need of it because, like you said, they're coming in already knowing, and we need their guidance, and we need to treat them as individual people they are instead of projecting our programming onto them. Let them come in, be who they are, do what they are, and just support them as their own individual person. So that's all I want to say. And I love you guys. Thank you.
Tina?
You know what? I think this was a really, really great topic. I love hearing feedback from the younger people, because all I've seen in the last couple of years is the indoctrination and the kids that are, because even me, I have young teenage, nephew, nieces, and they're all kind of brainwashed. But to see, your son, man, he's so awake, to everything that's going on. And I love to see more conversations with more young people, because they're our future. These kids are our future, and I don't know, your son he's amazing.
Thank you, Tina.
And Gladys?
Ladies, I'm so grateful just to be here. Honestly, I mean, it's been difficult, and just to sit back and hear my son speak in a manner the way that he does speak, because he often finds himself as being alone, so as his mom, I just want to step back and not be the only one that says like how amazing he is. So the fact that each of you ladies have been able to hear just his heart, and he's always smarter than me, so for me it's like, helping. I have to get on the ball and stay on the ball so that I can make sure that he understands how important it is to speak his authentic truth and be exactly who he is and not change for anybody, because he's the only Ziya in my world, and his name means splendid light. So I'm just, thank you.
And for myself, I'm grateful for Marvel and Tina to be able to join us, for Gladys and for Ziya. I was grateful to see, young people at the conference, but just that you even brought your son, it was amazing. The minute that I saw him just standing there, I knew that he did not take life as a joke. He's a person to be reckoned with. And I just saw a great presence standing before me as a person that has a powerful grasp on life and what it should be about. And so I think my conversation with him there that day was going to be different from a lot of other children, or I don't even want to say children, a lot of other beings, because, you know, we know that people, they might present themselves as 18 and 19. These people are millions of years old. So let's stop playing games. As if we don't know that these people have been here before, time and time again. And they have a message for us. Let's revolve on that again. These people that you're giving birth to, they're not to be played with. They're not a joke. They're not, you know, because I had somebody put I'm 70 years old. And I'm like, okay, bitch, I'm 9 million years old. What you got? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's really stop playing like these people just got here, because they're not brand new souls. They didn't just get here. They are millions of years old, if not billions. We don't know. But they've been here before. They have a purpose and they have something to teach us. So let's really start acting like that's the truth. Now, for Gladys, I thank you for your amazing, adventurous spirit. And see, you were looking for something powerful in the beginning. So that's why you were on Road Rules and all these shows, because you were like, I know that my life is bigger than that. And so you're a person that just keeps going out and taking chances. And people are like, oh my God, what's she doing now? What's she doing today? What the heck is Gladys got going on? But I know that you're an amazing galactic being that's adventurous, and you're out here to show people what is it? You know, a lot of people are waiting on Jesus to perform miracles, or for Jesus to come back, or an alien to come back, or God to come back. But what you're proving to people is that, guess what? If you believe it strong enough, you can make it happen yourself. You can project it, visualize it, and make it happen for yourself. You don't have to wait for someone to do this magic for you. And there's more to magic than just waiting for someone else. But you have to have some kind of faith and action towards getting these things done. So you're proving that, you know, in your actions. And so, amazing, blessed being, we just thank you so much for showing up for us. Just to actually magnify our own faith in ourselves, right? Because if she can do this, I can actually pull back on the time when I'm weak and be like, well, you know what? Well, Gladys said, if I could just hold on to the wall and I could just be in the frame and I could make it happen. And then all of a sudden she gets a ticket out of the blue, then that means all the things in my life where I am too afraid to wish for or to even dream of, then I have to go deeper inside my own self and think of you as this example of this amazing person that makes it happen. Like you are that, you know, like you're the Jesus of this lifetime, actually doing these things, right? Because you made a fucking miracle, girl. You was all in the conference. You didn't even have a ticket, girl. You just rode down here on faith. So what does that say? What does that mean? How much more should we be doing this in our own lives? Because there's so many things that we're too afraid to even ask for, think of, or even dream of. So think about that. Meditate on that. So anybody that's watching, just meditate on that. All these things that you say, well, I wish I could do this, but I don't have the money. And I wish I could do this, but I don't have the time. And you know, those are just fucking excuses that we give ourselves so that we don't fucking wish too hard and get disappointed because we're so fucking afraid of disappointment, right? That's what it is. We're afraid of failure and disappointment. So let's go do this shit, you know? Let's go do this magic shit that we say we're gonna do, right? You're supposed to be in a galactic being, a star seed, or whatever it is, a way shower. So let's go do that. Let's go do it. Let's go do that Gladys thing that we can take. So I am just profoundly grateful to meet you. I'm excited. I'm loving these ladies right here in the panel. I'm loving your son. And so I'm just grateful. I'm just gonna say good night. And I hope everybody who is watching just really enjoys this and finds inspiration in this. And then maybe you know, if you have children or children anywhere around you in your life, that it prompts you to go and just ask them some questions about life and see what they say, because you will be surprised. These kids are doing more than just playing with Legos, okay? And some of them, they play video games. Like my son is a major gamer, but there's something in there. If you go ask, they'll share it with you. And so let's just do things differently than it's been done in the generations in the past. And that's what I ask. So namaste, lady. I'm gonna end this recording. Yeah, and go ahead, Stephanie, do your thing. Hold on a second. Let me get on the get on here. Yes, because when your son was talking, I was like, talk that talk, girl. I'm like, what?
Oh, brilliant.
Man of the future. These are men of the future. Don't believe that bullshit about that toxic masculinity and ain't no men out there and da 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 da. No, they out there. It's
They
just,
sure are. They sure are.
Just are you about that fuckery or not? Because if you out here on some fuckery, then you ain't gonna find that man. He gonna look past you and be like,
Right.
because they out there. They
And
out
that's
there.
the same way that I say about women too, because when he's focused on what women are doing, I'm like, yeah, but are you focused on the ones that are passing by you? Why you still you up on the screen like trying to look at the prettiest girl with the biggest boobies? Like, you know, that you're there for a reason as well. So check yourself as you're checking others, like, you know, because people are walking by you that see you and you don't see them. So, you know, acknowledge that as well. So he's a good one. He's a keeper.
He's a keeper. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.